there was obviously that period of time as well where like Siski was beginning to do really well, and then obviously the rise of Bloom as well. We've been obviously keeping a heavy eye on that, but it's almost comforting that like Gluto is firmly #1 in Europe again. Like it felt like there were a couple of problems. He was slipping off against a couple of players, and now he feels for the most part he's back.
Oh, 100%. His last sets versus Bloom have been, I'm not gonna like, kind of washes. Like, he has looked really strong against the only player in Europe who's like given him trouble in the past like 18 months. And in the past 6 months, he's just had Bloom's number, and that definitely has solidified him as not only #1 in Europe, but I think that drive he's had since April has pushed him, you know, higher and higher on the global scale as well.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because it's like, and we're seeing it here as well, where Gluto has become almost that like unupsettable force. You don't upset Gluto. That tends to not happen. Of course, we had Rashiora a couple of weeks back managing it with the Sora, but again, it's very much few and far between. But we're going to see if Pyrum is able to do it again. Like most typical matches, it does tend to start with that very, very even first stock. Both of them just feeling each other out, not going for these huge risks, these huge reads thus far. But the down tilt dash attack, Pyrum Sephiroth, very, very light boy just being sent off to the skies, and we have got a very slight lead in favor of Gluto right now.
Yep, and I think Gluto specifically like plays even closer game ones than most top players I think I watch, because so much of Gluto's game plan or like his way of playing is adaptation, right? It's learning your habits and just destroying you for them. And so I think that he quite often plays even slower and even more reserved than some of the other top players in these game one scenarios. When we've watched him earlier in this block against Miga, the game one was pretty close, and then game 2 and 3 he really just got that download and just, I think he zeroed to death first stock of game 2.
I think it's something to do with the nature of Wario, especially the fact that obviously Wario's big sort of gimmick, as it were, is the waft factor, but that's not something that really plays a part in neutral. So a lot of Wario using that M ability is going to be about sort of finding those patterns, finding those movement options, taking your time. You haven't got that really almost neutral defining game plan to deal with it. That was a really excellent counter there, just trying to catch that. Even, you know, the counter going a little bit more forward, even if it was just to try and catch an approach from Pyrum, the counter still would have worked there. Really, really lovely stuff. But we can see already, I love that spot dodge and a parry as well, but I think just the platforms again playing a little bit of a part to ruin Glutonny's plans here. But we are seeing there is no stopping of the pressure.
Trying to use the back throw to, you know, immune through the neutral be there, but not managing to do so.
So we are going to see a lovely wait there. You can see the sort of nod of the head there from Pyrum. He was fully aware that there was a little bit of a cheeky idea. Again, it's not showing those cards too early. I think you mentioned earlier knowing whether something is sort of, it's like a read or a habit. And I'm wondering whether that counter already it's been snuffed out, and whether it's going to be something that Pyrum continues to rely on, or whether it is something that Gluto has given it the respect, got the punish for it, and now it's like, never mind. But also, of course, the waft is available, and the down tilt to waft coming out from Gluto. Very, very strong start to game one. That's something that we see time and time again. Just the gentle knock off onto stage, and you're basically curtains from there on out.
Yeah, very strong indeed. I think that really showed Gluto's ability to adapt. Stock 1, you lose it because you threw a bike into a counter and then did something. Stock 2, you picked up the bike in exactly the same scenario, waited for the counter, and then killed Pyrum for it. And I think that is just the strength of Gluto right there.
Such a devastatingly strong player. And we are going back to small battlefield as the counter pick. I do agree with the pick. I think certainly you don't want to give Wario triplats. I think he's, you know, it's arguably his strongest place. But I think, again, with both of these characters, they are, oh my goodness, just Gluto's ability to just link these tiny little hits into something so much more. Obviously, you see like the Nair trains and things like that. But even just like the one hit of Nair into the down tilt, into like another small hit, it's so, as the game has gone on and he's just put so much time into this one character, it's so apparent how well he knows this character, not only from playing this game as well, but you know, those sort of classic fundamentals of your character. I mean, he's been on this character since the Brawl days. He's been so good with it. And speaking of so good, that back air going to seal the deal on that first stock. Gluto once again with a very strong lead.
It's crazy the string advantage that Bluto managed to put together just from, like you say, that familiarity with Wario. Like, you watch so many other Warios and the character just looks different when it's not in Gluto's hands. Gluto just has this ability to make this character look like, you know, a liquid just flowing across the stage instead of it being something that's, you know, so rigid to move with.
No, for sure. But we can see the wing is ready and available for Sephiroth. I love that parry onto the grab. Again, a little bit optimistic with these counters. Of course, Wario having such versatility in the way that he can recover, particularly with those timings as well, having the double jump, the up B, and the bike as well as his normal and crazy aerial mobility in general. I do wonder whether Pyrum needs to start electing more for these ledge traps as opposed to these edge guards.
Potentially that is very much the case because he is very much struggling to find these kills, but that back air, it's going to do it. But that back air also going to do it. Glutonny said, anything you can do, I can do better. And it's Pyrum who's got his work cut out right now. Glutonny with that waft online, gets the up air, gets 3 up airs, but doesn't manage to find a waft conversion off of any of them, but finds the up tilt into another up air. Maybe we just don't have waft online. Maybe I've just miscounted because I feel like it would have come out at one of those points.
It's definitely, I mean, just electing for that damage instead of, I mean, you've got so much room to work with. And if there's one thing I know about Gluto, he likes to end his matches in style. And I'm going to save that style for a little bit later as Taylor Zolder's time. A back air taking it off the left-hand side of the blast zone. And another strong 2-stock in the favor of Gluto. He's doing so well at just getting that lead and keeping hold of it. It's just a masterclass in Smash Ultimate we're seeing at the moment, Emerald.
Yeah, and I really liked the fact that he used that bike to just extend the punish that Pyrum was going for, which meant he could then punish Pyrum for just trying to kill him, which is just such a smart usage of that item, extending the hitbox. And it does look like we are going to change it up. No more small battlefields. That's not the solution, says Pyrum. Smashville. Smashville is the answer. Also, Pyrum thinks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very strong stage, that smaller hits, but again, that middle platform, Wario does really enjoy the stage for the conversions that he can get. But the thing is, in the hands of Glutonny, you're going to be getting those ridiculous extensions anyway. Already 97% off the bat, and just eating an entire up B for just even remotely hinting. I mean, the risk reward inherently worth it, but in the same vein, it does look a little strange when you take 37% from one attack, I must say.
Well, that up smash is not something we usually see Gluto killing with, but just has this read of how Pyrum is going to move and play the game, and now it's just kind of toying with him just that little bit. Bike still online, so we're not too worried at the moment for Glutonny. He is going to manage to get back to stage, and just kind of looks like he's having a bit of fun with this set.
Yeah, I mean, Pyrum again, I think underestimating how far Wario can truly go. When you're only reliant on the bike, the recovery does become that little bit more linear, but at the same time, dude's edge guards had not really been working out, so just electing to stay on stage with that down air. But in the meantime, Gluto has simply gotten to work and has put on nearly another 100% worth of damage, and just really pressuring this shield, just sort of weaving in and out, doing a little bit of damage, and then just etching away, just waiting for Pyrum to go for something silly there, and just managing to eat the wheel there and getting a back air to boot. A little bit more waft online and a little bit more of a lead extended. Gluto is looking incredible. Oh, don't do it to him. Oh, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's done. The quickest third shot you've ever seen in your damn life. What is he doing?
As soon as I saw him go off stage and open his mouth, I was like, oh no, you can't do him like this. But Glutonny having a bit of fun, just, you know, I think that's the best thing. I watched Gluto and it really does look like he just loves the game still. He loves playing his character, and that is just, it's so nice to see. Because there's a lot of players that like complain about the game a lot, or look like they're, you know, not enjoying themselves what they're playing, and they just feel like they're forcing themselves to play because they're pretty good. Whereas Gluto can push himself so hard and so far in these tournaments because he has the drive, because he does enjoy what he's doing.
It's also nice to see because, like, from my perspective, from starting out in Smash 4, he still had that enjoyment and that passion and that skill level, but unfortunately his character really did hold him back, because Wario was hot trash back in those days. And everybody said at the time, just give Just make Wario a top, like, even a top 20 character. Just make Wario good and watch Gluto soar. And I can barely see him with how high he is in the sky, because Wario's finally good and Gluto is right there at the top. And that is the beauty of the character specialist, when you're not going for those counter picks, when you've got that one character that can do it in any and every matchup. You just get to see its magic and its poetry on screen. And honestly, I love it. But that is going to be it for pools, I believe. Just straight up.
Yeah, I believe that is us done for the day. It's been a long day, but it's been a fun one from my perspective, at least. Lots of fun sets, lots of, upsets, but also a lot of just top players playing at their best, and I like to see both of those situations. So I want to thank you all for joining us today, for watching however much you watched. I want to thank all the commentators that helped me today. We'll be back tomorrow to, give you the best we can for the top 64. Joycey, your star, thank you for hopping on, helping us close it out. It's been a pleasure once again.
That is all good. Make sure you come back tomorrow, same time, same places, for top 64 of Tech Republic 7. We are getting into the real meat and potatoes of the top to miss tomorrow. And that's it from us, really.
See you all tomorrow. Bye.